Hello everyone, what is up? Welcome back to another video. And today, as promised, I did say we were going to take a look at Under Falling Skies. I'm now going to show you the contents of the game. This includes the campaign. So if you do not want to see the campaign, which I'm going to literally put it in the description of this video, I'm making this so I can show you what comes in the box, everything. And yes, I've been playing this game for nearly 2 days straight, and I love this game so much. It's so replayable and has so much narrative. Anyway, if you don't know what this is, it's a game. It's really cool. It's a PNP, print and play, as a game that you can get for free. This is not for free. This specific version, Czech Games Edition. This is the revised edition. It has a campaign and stuff, but you can actually go online on BGG and print the print and play version off, and it's no different than this, except this is a full campaign and features. Anyway, without further ado, let's crack this box open. So one of the first things that I've found to be really cool about the game is the rulebook. It's very high quality, very glossy. It's got a tutorial video on here, and it has weight. You know, here's the campaign. And I found the instructions to be really good. I can now make this video as I played the few rounds of the game. It plays really good. And when you flip over these tiles, the difficulty ramps up. And I've never had a game that does that. Even my war games, you know, it just adds so much to it. And of course you've got, you know, the campaign and stuff, and of course really nice P47 Thunderbolt there. So I have actually put everything in bags, so I'm going to go through the cards now. So in the game, in the campaign, you play as characters. So we have, of course, we have cards. So let's have a look at them. Okay. Now, they are all different because in the right-hand corner, there is one. All right. And then there's two. And then there's three. And there's no characters for Chapter 4, as Chapter 4 is just basically where you're trying to defend. Many people have said that this is not Will Smith from Independence Day. It sort of gives me, you know, Will Smith vibes. This star means the difficulty rating. So, you know, he is, you know, at his best. And his skill is shoot down one enemy ship on an explosion space. When you flip it over, he becomes an ace pilot, as indicated by the star, and you can upgrade them every time you play the campaign and such. And his new skill is shoot down one enemy ship on any enemy space. So when he's not an ace, it's on a space, on an explosion space, however, on any space. So he's an ace, and I believe you can use them once per turn. I'm really impressed with the cards as well. They're very thick. Don't bend them. They're not bendy at all. They are, you know, counters, card stock. But yeah, really nice. I love the gloss. Anyway, so that's Clinton Harper. We then have Samantha Legrand. Okay, so she's a reporter. You can advance one space on the research track as long as its value is 3 or less. That's something else that I didn't understand about the research track. I was playing the game wrong. I actually wasn't advancing properly. So now I played a few rounds of the game. I sort of get a feel for it. And when you upgrade her, she becomes a reporter, and then she goes from a reporter to a journalist. And as a journalist, she can advance on the research track for a combine value of 6 or less, rather than 3. Then we have Lucia Ortego. She's a mechanic, and she can increase one robot by 1, or make an exhausted robot unexhausted. And an exhausted robot is basically where it's, you know, exhausted. So you turn it around. And when she's upgraded, she becomes a mechanic, and then she becomes a technician. And you can increase one robot by 2, or both robots by 1, or make all uninstalled robots unexhausted. So there's so much options in this game. And of course, we've got Jackson Moss, who was a colonel, who looks a bit like Stalin for some reason. I play too many war games. Then again, he sort of reminds me of, I forget what his name is. The Daily Bugle guy. God, it's going to kick me in the teeth now, isn't it? I forgot what his name is, but yeah. I think you know, if you know Spider-Man, you know. So, when he's a colonel, you can increase 2 worker dice placed or unplaced by 1. And then when you upgrade him, I'm going to do it again. He becomes a general. And you can increase your worker dice placed or unplaced by a total of 3 or less, divided however you want. Then we move to Chapter 2. Now, this is very much spoilers, so I will put this in the description. If you want to learn how to play the game, do not watch this video. If you want to know what comes in the box, watch this video. Here we have Yaroslav Rizika. He is a programmer. I love the tie. Sort of Space Invaders, I think that's like a little thing there. He's got lots of pens. Looks like one of my teachers in college. Kind of creepy, to be honest. When he's a programmer, you can choose one type of room effect in this round's room phase effects, or that type resolve with a 1+ bonus, +1 bonus. And when he's a programmer, he becomes a software engineer. And in this round's room phase, all room effects resolve with a +1 bonus. Okay, so that's Chapter 2. Then we have Shanti Uman. Yeah, she doesn't look happy at all. She's got some sort of galactic outwear going on there. But she's a politician, and she can set an unplaced worker die to any number. And when she's a politician, she becomes a Minister of Defense. And you can set up to 3 unplaced worker dice to any numbers. Worker dice are basically just, you know, these ones here, not the blue ones. Ignore those. And then we have Karima Almasi. She's a manager. She looks a bit like a Karen. Somebody get the manager. And I don't know why. She looks high. I don't know if that's just me, but yeah. I love the artwork as well. During the room's phase, transfer 1 worker die to a different space of the same type. She's got a Karen haircut going on. And when she upgrades to a manager, she becomes a Karen. No, she becomes the HR director, or HR director. And during the room's phase, you can transfer up to 2 worker dice to different spaces. So that's that. Yep. Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 comes with 4 characters. We then have Peter Bernstein. He's an engineer. During the room's phase, you gain 1 energy, and you may advance the excavator 2 spaces for 0 energy. This is good, because this game actually uses energy a lot. As long as this is the only time you've moved the excavator this round. And once he's done with an engineer, he becomes a chief engineer. And during the room's phase, you gain 2 energy instead of 1. And you may advance the excavator 4 spaces instead of 2 for 0 energy. And again, as long as you have, as long as this is the only time you move the excavator this round. So that's pretty cool. If you move it in the other round, you cannot use it. So that's Chapter 2. And then we've got Chapter 3. So we have Yang. I'm very sorry for mispronouncing this. Jang Chanvuk. Yep. He's your average gamer. Sort of Squid Game going on. But yeah. So move a single ship 1 space up or down to an unoccupied space in the sky. Basically meaning that, you know, the sky tiles. You know, these things. Without triggering the effect on that space. So say like you use this card and you moved a ship down, and usually if it was a mothership, you'd have to move the mothership down. Well, if you use Yang Chanwook in the campaign 3, yeah, that's good. And guess what he becomes when he's upgraded to a gamer? He becomes a Discord mod. No, he becomes a pro gamer. Yep. 2 ships instead of 1, and in the same direction in your choice, up, down, left, right, 2 unoccupied spaces in the sky, without triggering the effects on those spaces. That's probably a bit meh, but yeah, I've decided to have a bit of fun, you know. We're a YouTube channel, we're not stone cold, you know. So anyway, then we have Archie Bell. Yep. Looks a bit like Tony Stark, but hey. He's a Bell Robotics founder. Install one unexhausted robot with value 3. And when he's a robot founder, he becomes a CEO. And you can install one unexhausted robot with a value of 4 instead of 3. Then we have Izox. And this is the alien. Really cool. And he's an alien. When respawning ships, skip one of them so it will not be respawned until next round. He's actually good, I believe, and when he's an alien, he becomes a resistance leader. Take one ship from a drop point and put it beside the row that is 2 rows lower. It's temporarily out of play. Return it to the mothership when the mothership reaches that row. Cool. And then we have, pronounce this right, Wang Lin. He's a scientist. Take one worker die used in a jet fighter effect, set it to the number of ships shot down, and transfer it to a research space, and he becomes a lead researcher. So resolve a jet fighter effect with a +3 bonus. Take one worker die used in the effect, set it to the number of ships shot down, and transfer it to a research space. So that are the cards. So you get 4 cards in each pack. So Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3. So really cool. And then we are going to have a look at the dice. Now the dice are your just generic, just your generic dice. I think I showed you this before. These are the worker dice. So they are the robo dice or the robot dice. So these are, robots. Okay. We have the excavator, which is very nice, and it costs 1 energy to use. And we have 2 white dice, which are your reroll dice, and your 3 grey dice. These are your worker dice. These are your robo dice, and this is the excavator. Okay, so I'm now going to show you the other components. Even though in my first video I said we'd look at the campaign, well, I'm just going to show you everything again. In case you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing if you want to see more cool things like this. So we have research token, which is just a green, thing there. And then the yellow one, or the orange one, whatever you want to say, it's green and yellow, is the energy. Yes, so that's the energy. And then we have the damage marker, which is, of course, just a resin red cube. And then we have ships, of which there are 3 types. You have this guy, and he is the traditional ship. These are the red ones. You get 5 of them, and they're really cool. Then you got white ships. These are mainly reinforcements. And then you get an orange ship, which is supposed to be a command ship or a kamikaze variant. As spoiler alert, we're going through each one of the campaigns. Now, another thing is that it's probably going to annoy a lot of you people if you know the game. Okay? These things, it comes with extras, okay? And I took the extras out because, well, I don't like having punch boards in my game. I wanted to take them out, so that's what I did. So these are really interesting, as they are very well made. And there's 2 sets in case you lose these, but of course you'll be using these. So these are the tokens for the campaign, okay? And they go 1 to 6, and you'll be using these to, use as a really interesting mechanic. Yeah. It goes 1 to 6, and, oh yeah, there's the 6th one. No soul gets left behind. So, yep, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the 6th one is there. Okay, and these are used as satellites and stuff, and the campaign's really cool. So I'm not going to put everything back into the bag. We're going to be back in a minute, and we're going to have a look at the locations, or the cities. No, I'm not kidding when I tell you this. These are all the cities in the game, so you can understand it's a small box, but my gosh, you get a lot. So I'll show you the main ones that you get, for the original to start you off. You have, move out the way, there we go. So we got Roswell, okay, very nice. Looks like a gas station, but it's not, it's Roswell. So this is where you put your research, so that's where you put your green marker. This shows you what tiles you'll need, A and B. We'll get into that a bit later. And when you flip it over, if the game's too hard, you can change the difficulties, which I actually had to do today. Because I get getting absolutely rammed by the alien ships and destroyed. Ram's probably not the right word. Probably destroyed, yeah. So when Roswell takes its first point of damage, advance 1 space on the research track. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay, then we have New York, okay. And this is one of the ones that you begin with before you go into the campaign. So this is research. Of course, it's a bit different. You can only have 1 robot, but the value of its room is raised by 1. Empire State Building, I think. C and A, these are the tiles you'll need. And, of course, when you flip it over, a room's value is raised by 1 robot each in it. 1 robot is raised by 1 for each robot in it, and you got a 3 there. Yeah, very nice. And the Statue of Liberty. So then we have the next ones, which is Washington, D.C. You got the Washington, D.C. there, and the Pentagon, I think, and the tiles you'll need. And it's a 6 for research there. On the first roll of each round, set one of the white dice to 6 instead of rolling it. And to make it easier, you can immediately, after the first roll of each round, set one of the work dice to 6. Now, a good thing of knowing which one is not for the campaign is these 3, because they've got dots on them. So I'm going to now show you all of the ones for campaign 1. We have Rio de Janeiro, and I think this is the God, I don't know where it is. I know where it is, but I can't remember. Rio, I think? Yes, Rio, as, you know, indicated by the name. I'm not talking about the blue birds, no. This is aliens. So, again, tiles you'll need. At the beginning of the rooms phase, you may return the highest ship to the mothership. There's a tie you choose. Don't think there will be, but if there is. Yep. Not on an explosion space, you can return the highest ship. If it's not on an explosion space to the mothership, that makes it a bit easier. Okay. Then we have Mexico City. Doesn't look Mexican in my opinion, but hey, you know, can be what it wants. The tiles you'll need, and whenever you place a die to move the excavator 4 spaces or less, you move the excavator immediately. This costs no energy, and you can leave the die under the excavator until the room phase to make it easier. 5 spaces or less instead of 4. And move the excavator immediately. It costs no energy, and leave the die under the excavator until the room's face. The same one, except you're doing 5 spaces or less instead of 4. So those 2 are for chapter 1, and we have Montreal. Yep. 2 or more room effects at the same type can be resolved simultaneously, so, you know, different times. Sum their values, then perform the effect 1 with that value. So you've got research, and then we've got the tiles. And to make it easier, perform the effect 1 with that value with a +1. So, yep, it's pretty nice. And then we have Havana. No, I'm not talking about Havana. My heart is not back in Havana. It is with Under Falling Skies. Bit of comedy there. So, whenever you remove a worker die with no effect, you can install an exhausted robot with the same value on its space. Whenever you use a robot die, remove it. Yes. Very cool. And then flip it over. You can install an exhausted robot with the same value with a +1 on its space. Yep, and yeah, pretty cool. And I think that is chapter 1. So to begin with, you have 3, okay? Chapter 1, you have 4. And then chapter 2, I think you're going to have 4 again. Let me just double check. We have Cairo. Again, this is the one thing I love about this game. At the beginning of each room phase, you may transfer 1 worker die from an AA gun room, anti-aircraft by the way, to a different room in the same column. You can see the pyramids there in the city of Cairo. Very nice. And to make it easier, 1 worker dies to a different room in the same column. And then we have Moscow, Russia. The command room effect resolves with a +1 bonus, as told you'll need. And Moscow, the command room effect resolves with a +2 bonus instead of a +1. Then we have God Save the King, because it's London. This is London. You've got Big Ben. Pretty cool. Whenever you use a jet fighter effect, you can also destroy 1 ship on an explosion space with a number that's higher by 1. So if it was a 2 or 3 or a 4 or a 5 or a 6 or a 7, you can destroy it, I think. Told you need research, and then to make it easier, with a number that is 3 higher or 3 or less, then higher by 1, I think. Yeah, higher by 3 or less and higher by 1. Yep, so that's London. Okay. Paris. Yes. As above, so below. If you know what I'm going on about, you may know. It's the horror film, which we'll be talking about on the channel very soon, because I watched it and it's awesome, and I highly recommend you watch it. As above, so below. Speaking of which, as above, so below, whenever you install a robot, you can increase a place worker die by 1. This tells your need, and to make it easier, a different installed robot by 1 work dice. Johannesburg. The die placed to move the excavator does not count against the 1 die per column limit. Yes, 1 die per column is a limit. The die placed to move the excavator does not count against the 1 die. Yep. It moves the excavator 1 space farther. That's good. Okay, then we got chapter 3. Is in chapter 4, you don't need cities. No, I don't think you need cities. You're basically fighting against the will to live, I think. Yep. So, let's have a look. We have Singapore. Start of each round, you can transfer each installed robot. And easy side, an exhausted robot can be transferred at any time. Sydney. There's the Opera House, beautiful. Once during each room's phase, you can transfer a work die of value 3 or less to a research space. Easy side, you can transfer a work die to a research space once during the room's phase. Beijing. 1 grey die is never old. When you place it, you must set its value to match a grey die that has already been placed. Yep. And then the easy one. When you place it, you must set its value to match a worker die that has already been placed. Seoul. I think that's in Korea. A robot of value 2 or less does not decrease when you use it. And then the easy side. A robot of value 3 or less does not decrease instead of 2. And Japan. Tokyo. Then you've got Tokyo Tower and Mount Fuji. Or, Fuji, I think. Mount Fuji, I think. You can have only 1 robot. It's not exhausted when it's installed. And your robot's not exhausted when they're installed. And there you go. That is all the cities that you have in the game. Chapter 1 to Chapter 3. Okay. I'm not going to waffle on anymore. Let's have a look at the Mothership. Honestly, guys, I don't know where the Mothership's gone. Yep, this is the Mothership. So you place your ships here. This is called the drop point. Then any ships that get respawned get placed here. It's a very nice Mothership. I won't lie, it's very sci-fi looking. And of course, you've got the rules of play there. Dice phase, rooms phase, Mothership phase. Now let's have a look at the base. Okay, boom. So we'll talk about chapter 0. So there are 3 of them, but to begin with, you're only going to need 2. You're going to need A and B. So this is your kill streak phase, where, not kill streak, but this is where you're going to be placing your damage. And if you take too much damage and you reach this skull, you die. Anti-aircraft rooms, they're here. Basically, if I put a 4 here, it's a -1. So 4 minus 1 is 3, so the alien would move 3. Or you could put 1 there so nothing moves. Double rooms require 2 dice to use them. You can't use 1 dice. So if I put a 6 minus 3, 6 minus 3 is 6, 5, 4, 3. So 6 minus 3 is 3. Energy, this costs 2 energy to use and you need to use energy. This is research. And you have double rooms as well. This is where the excavator goes. Pretty cool. And to make the game harder, you can flip it over. Here we have a robo dice, and there's more things, and this requires 4 energy, plus 3 as well. There's modifiers, and those as well. This one here is special, as it's used for different purposes, as more robots, and that requires 5 energy. Damn. So anyway, let's talk about the campaigns. This is what you'll need. Okay. Campaign 2. This one here is new. I think this is a command room or something. Yeah, because it is a cross. I'm not sure what that means yet. But yeah. There's the other side. Campaign 2. Yep, command rooms. And campaign 3. Very nice. Double. This is connected. So that's pretty cool. So no game is the same. It's different. But before I do, we have a radar. And this is for chapter 4. So these, instead of the mothership, we have a radar. Or a satellite. This too, I'm not sure what that means yet. And there's a side there. So to begin with, you are going to be using these 4, okay? And when you turn them around, they have difficulty levels on them. So, you know, research 12, these are explosion spaces. 2 reinforcements, an explosion, so you have to take damage. Minus research, another damage. I don't like this one because it's just got so many mothership ones on it. So yeah. And then this one, yep, for chapter 2, sort of generic. Chapter 3, again, these are teleporter spaces. So basically ships can teleport, which is kind of scary. Then we've got chapter 4, which is these new explosion symbols. And I think they're different or such. But yeah. So that's those. And now let's actually have a look at the campaign booklet. Here's the campaign booklet, and this basically requires you to use and stuff. I don't think I'm going to be using this. I think I'm just going to be printing these off BGG because I don't like colouring, using, and you know. So here you're going to put whatever you're going to call it, the city, seeing if it's destroyed or not, things that you're going to do, what characters you're using. That's really cool. And then you got chapter 2 and so on. Then you check your score. Then we have comics. Yes, I thought these are actual comic strips, and my gosh, they are detailed. Again, I have put a warning in the video. This is a review of all the components in the game. So if you do not want spoilers, look away now. So we will look at chapter 1, really glossy, high definition. So we have, that's chapter 4. What am I doing? Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. Here we go. So, you know, Mothership. I've never seen anything like it. Ba-chow. I have. Bet he has. So, here's how the sheet looks. So, this is just, you know, the campaign things you're going to need. These are the characters which you have in the game. These are the cities you can choose from. And the base D you will need. Okay, chapter 1, the invasion. You can use additional components. Okay, die values, rooms with 2 effects, Havana and Montreal. Yep, so it shows you the things that it requires. That's pretty cool. So while we look at the campaign, let's actually have a look at the scenarios for that specific chapter, as noted by the right-hand corner or left-hand corner thing. So in chapter 1, you get 4 scenarios, and you shuffle them, and each one has these different really cool things. 1 down, 1,295 to go. Beneath the flaming sky, ground troops fight a different battle for the light of the city's people. Our technological marvels now seem primitive and defenseless. Help is still on the way. So we have, of course you're going to shuffle these up, of course, and, you know, choose. So we have satellites. Your team is gathering intelligence from critical satellites. If you can't protect them, you may be unable to complete your research. This is pretty cool because basically tells you the setup, how to set everything up, and then the rules. Okay? So protecting satellites. Then we have reinforcements. So it sort of gives you an idea of what it's about. The defense forces in the city are short-handed. Try to hold on. Reinforcements are coming. This is where these tokens are going to be of use, which is really cool. And then we have evacuation. The alien invasion is leading to mass panic. Instead of seeking shelter, civilians are fleeing into the streets. If you can't evacuate them to safety, you may lose this city. As your setup, as your rules. And we have Battle for the Sky. For some reason, the enemy has decided to hit this city extra hard. Orange ship. Basically, you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ships. Okay, pretty cool. So that's chapter 1. Then we have chapter 2. Okay, glad you could join us. As you see, our research on the vessel is progressing. But, well, we think we'd learn more if we could talk to the pilot. Flip it over. Chapter 2 is called Digging In. So these are the ones you'll need. Base E and base F, the characters. And the scenarios you'll need. Advanced Sky Tile. 5th City. Command Rooms. Yep. You can't put a robot in a command room. That's what that means. This one. Looks like she's been infected with something. Some lessons are learned the hard way. Dangerous research. We think we can get good intel from this alien sample, but we need to proceed with caution. No changes to setup, but there is different rules. That's pretty cool. Then we have the research is having difficulties. Guess it's time for another shutdown. Reactor leak. Enemy bombardment has damaged our reactor. It's still usable, but at what price? Setup, yep. This is pretty cool. So no game is the same, as I keep saying. This is what I love about this game, and I'm so glad I got it now. That last assault nearly destroyed us. Can we repair the damage before the next one? Repairing the base. An earlier strike left our base on the verge of collapse. If we can't repair it fast, we might not survive this incoming attack. Yeah, so you've got to repair the base before an attack comes. This one is my favourite. Out of all the alien ships, this one acts like it knows something. And that's because it's a command ship. Attacking this city seems to have a unique link with the Mothership. And that's why the, where is it? The orange ship is included. Because it's a command ship. And it has different abilities. So those are for chapter 2. Now let's have a look at chapter 3. Here we go. And thus, by removing the implant, we turned our enemy into a friend. Chapter 3, Overwhelmed. These are the ones you'll need. Base G and the scenarios and the characters. Sky tile setup, vertical rooms. Yep. You can place only one worker die in each column. The room usually needs at least one robot for it to work. Mothership action, move ships. This is what it is. In every column, all enemy ships descend the indicated number of spaces. Teleport. Yep. Upgraded characters. Okay, so that's chapter 3. So, let's have a look. Yep. So, we have this one. This chemical is key to their technology. But it may prove to be our ruin. Contamination. The alien chemical is more difficult to contain than we thought. Now it's spreading through the base. So yeah, you're basically trying to stop getting contaminated. Really cool. They control our weather, turning our own atmosphere against us. That's cool. But we'll fight on, somehow. Storm. The enemy is using some sort of weather control technology to disrupt our radar, confuse our pilots. That's pretty cool. And then we've got this one. This is, again, my second favourite. Just before that kamikaze attack, the alien acknowledged a signal. Now that signal's back. Kamikaze ships. Looks like some alien signal is turning enemy ships into ruthless projectiles. If the orange ship hits the city, take 2 damage instead of 1. Wow. Basically kamikazes. And then the final one, we were making progress when things went very wrong. Do we have a saboteur among us? Basically an imposter. A saboteur is loose in the city. We can only guess at its location. You'll have to expect things to go wrong. Pretty nice. And we're going to end the video nearly as we're going to take a look at Chapter 4. We created the thinking machine. It was supposed to improve our lives. Instead, it stole them. I know we are your enemy, but you are our hope. Using some sort of alien technology. Okay, Chapter 4, the final battle. Yep. If you win one game, you win the campaign. So that's pretty cool. Okay, and what's next? Whatever you want. Yeah, you still have lots of characters, scenarios, and cities to discover. Yes, you do. The end begins. The final battle. Our research shows the aliens are actually the puppets of an artificial intelligence controlling them from orbit. We need to destroy the AI satellite. That's pretty cool. So anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. I shall see you in the next one. Again, Under Falling Skies. Take care, guys, and see you in the next one.